In this section, we are going to learn how to build four important chart types: the column chart, the line chart, the scatter chart, and the boxplot diagram. As for another useful type of chart, the histogram, we will approach it in the lesson about normality tests. The SPSS chart builder is very advanced, providing a wide array of editing options. I don't intend to go through all of them in detail, because it is not my goal here. If you are particularly interested in building charts with SPSS, you will be able to discover all these options easily. The topic of this video lesson is how to build a column chart. This chart is useful when our independent variables have discrete values. I mean, it is categorical, either nominal or ordinal. Since you are already familiar with the employee data file, which contains information about 474 employees of a US bank, we are going to use this file for our practical exercise, as we did in the previous lessons. Let's suppose that we want to compare the average salaries for three employment categories: clerical, custodial, and managers. So this is a JobCat variable where we can find these categories. 1 is clerical, 2 custodial, 3 manager. Okay. So our independent variable is JobCat, employment category. And our dependent variable is salary, the current salary. Given that, a column chart is the most appropriate tool for a visual comparison. To open the chart builder, we go here in Graphs Chart Builder. Let's examine the dialog box a bit. Here we have the list of all variables in our database, and this big window here is the chart preview window. And here in this gallery we can choose the chart types we want to build. Okay, now let's build our chart. The bar chart type is already selected here, and we have to drag in the preview window this icon called simple bar. We drag it here. As you notice, a new dialog box appears. It's called Element Properties. Here we can set the properties for various elements of our chart. Now let's define our chart axis by dragging the corresponding variables. On the x-axis, we will represent the employment category, so we drag this variable just here in this border, employment category. And on the y-axis, we will represent the current salary. We drag it here in this border. Now let's take a look here in the element properties box. Let's focus on the statistic menu here. We can select the statistical indicator that we want our columns to represent. The mean option is already selected by default, and it is convenient for us because we want to represent, as we said, the average salaries of the three categories. But if we want to choose another indicator, for example, if we want to represent the variance of the variable for the three categories, we can choose here variance. So let's go back to the mean option. So everything is set now. We have defined the axis, we have the mean option selected here, so now we can press OK. So here's our chart. What we can notice here, studying it, the average salary for the clerical and custodial categories are pretty close, these two columns here, while the average salary for the managers is much bigger, as we could expect. If we want to edit this chart, we just double-click to activate it. Now we are in the editing mode. Here you can change or add all kinds of stuff: chart title, chart legend, axis levels, bar colors, and so on. Now let's suppose that we have to represent the average salary for two nominal variables: employment category and gender. The employment category has 3 levels, the variable JobCat, and the gender has 2 levels. So we're talking about 6 separate groups, 3 times 2. So, male employees, clerical, custodial, and manager, and female employees, clerical, custodial, and manager. To solve this problem, we must build a clustered bar chart. Let's open the chart builder again. Now, in this chart preview window, we must drag this icon, clustered bar. Okay. Now, on the x-axis, we will represent the employment category. So we will enter here our first independent variable, and the second independent variable, gender, will be dragged here in this border set color. Now we have to drag the dependent variable, current salary, here to define the y-axis. As you notice, the option mean was already selected by default in the statistic menu. So everything is set now. We can press the OK button. Here's the column chart we wanted. We should have 6 bars here, but we only have 5 because there is no woman in the custodial category. So we have female and male for the clerical category, only male for custodial category, and female and male for the manager category. So that's how to build a column bar and a clustered column bar. Thank you.